Chapter 6 of Masters of Space. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by R.J. Davis. Masters of Space by Edward Elmer Smith, a.k.a. E.E. Doc Smith, and Edward Everett Evans. Translated by Robert Coccanetti, Stephen Blundell, and the online distributed proofreading team. Chapter 6. For 1 solid hour Hilton stared at the wall, motionless and silent. Then, shaking himself and stretching, he glanced at his clock. A little over an hour to supper time. They'd all be aboard. He had talked this new idea over with Teddy Blake. He gathered up a few papers and was stapling them together when Carnes walked in. "Hi, Bill. Speak of the devil. I was just thinking about you." "I'll just bet you were." Carnes sat down, leaned over, and took a cigarette out of the box on the desk. "And nothing printable either." "Chip chop, fellow, on that kind of noise," Hilton said. The team chief looked actually haggard. Blue-black rings encircled both eyes. His powerful body slumped. "How long has it been since you had a good night's sleep?" "How long have I been on this job?" "Exactly 120 days. I did get some sleep for the first few weeks, though." "Yeah? So answer me one question. How much good will you do us after they've wrapped you up in one of those canvas affairs that lace up the back?" "Huh? Oh, but damn it, Jarve, I'm holding up the whole procession. Everybody on the project's just sitting around on their tonkuses waiting for me to get something done, and I'm not doing it. I'm going so slow, a snail is lightning in comparison." "Calm down, big fellow. Don't rupture a gut or blow a gasket. I've talked to you before, but this time I'm going to smack you bow-legged. So stick out those big floppy ears of yours and really listen. Here are 3 words that I want you to pin up somewhere where you can see them all day long. Speed is relative. Look back, see how far up the hill you've come, and then balance 120 days against 10 years. "What? You mean you'll actually sit still for me holding everything up for 10 years? "You use the perpendicular pronoun too much, and in the wrong places. On the hits, it's we, but on the flops, it's I. Quit it. Everything on this job is we. Terra's best brains are on Team 1 and are going to stay there. You will not, repeat, not, be interfered with, pushed around, or kicked around. You see, Bill, I know what you're up against." "Yes, I guess you do. One of the damn few who do. But even if you personally are willing to give us 10 years, how in hell do you think you can swing it? How about the Navy, the Stretch, even the board?" "They're my business, Bill, not yours. However, to give you a little boost, I'll tell you. With the Navy, I'll give them the fuel bin if I have to. The Omans have been taking care of the Stretch for 2,700 centuries, so I'm not the least bit worried about their ability to keep on doing it for 10 years more. And if the board, or anybody else, sticks their runny little noses into Project Theta Orionis, I'll slap a quarantine onto both these solar systems that a microbe couldn't get through." "You'd go that far? Why, you'd be..." "Do you think I wouldn't?" Hilton snapped. "Look at me, Junior, eyes locked and held. Do you think, for 1 minute, that I'll let anybody on all of God's worlds pull me off this job or interfere with my handling of it unless and until I'm damn positively certain that we can't handle it?" Carnes relaxed visibly. The lines of strain eased. Putting it in those words makes me feel better. I will sleep tonight, and without any pills either." "Sure you will. One more thought. We all put in more than 10 years getting our Terran educations, and an Oman education is a lot tougher." Really smiling for the first time in weeks, Carnes left the office and Hilton glanced again at his clock. Pretty late now to see Teddy. Besides, he'd better not. She was probably keyed up about as high as Bill was, and in no shape to do the kind of thinking he wanted of her on this stuff. Better wait a couple of days. On the following morning before breakfast, Theodora was waiting for him outside the mess hall. "Good morning, Jarve," she caroled. Reaching up, she took him by both ears, pulled his head down and kissed him. As soon as he perceived her intent, he cooperated enthusiastically. "What did you do to Bill?" "Oh, you don't love me for myself alone, then? But just on account of that big jerk?" "That's right." Her artist model face, startlingly beautiful now, fairly glowed. Just then Temple Bell strolled up to them. "Morning, you two lovely people." She hugged Hilton's arm as usual. "Shame on you, Teddy, but I wish I had the nerve to kiss him like that." "Nerve? You?" Teddy laughed as Hilton picked Temple up and kissed her in exactly the same fashion, he hoped, as he had just kissed Teddy. "You've got more nerve than an aching tooth. But as Jarve would say it, scat, kitten, we're having breakfast a la twosome. We've got things to talk about." "All right for you," Temple said darkly, although her dazzling smile belied her tone. That first kiss, casual seeming as it had been, had carried vastly more freight than any observer could perceive. "I'll hunt Bill up and make passes at him. See if I don't. That'll learn ya." Theodora and Hilton did have their breakfast a dukes, but she did not realize until afterward that he had not answered her question as to what he had done to her Bill. As has been said, Hilton had made it a prime factor of his job to become thoroughly well acquainted with every member of his staff. He had studied them en masse, in groups and singly. He had never, however, cornered Theodora Blake for individual study. Considering the power and the quality of her mind, and the field which was her specialty, it had not been necessary. Thus it was, with no ulterior motives at all, that, 3 evenings later, he walked her cubbyhole office and tossed the staple papers onto her desk. "Free for a couple of minutes, Teddy? I've got troubles." "I'll say you have." Her lovely lips curled into an expression he had never before seen her wear, a veritable sneer. "But these are not them." She tossed the papers into a drawer and stuck out her chin, her face turned as hard as such a beautiful face could. Her eyes dug steadily into his. Hilton inwardly flinched. His mind flashed backward. She too had been working under stress, of course, but that wasn't enough. What could he have possibly done to put Teddy Blake, of all people, onto such a warpath as this? "I've been wondering when you were going to try to put me through your ringer," she went on in the same cold, hard voice. "And I've been waiting to tell you something. You've wrapped all the other women around your fingers like so many rings, and what a sickening exhibition that has been. But you are not going to make either a ring or a lapdog out of me." Almost, but not quite too late, Hilton saw through that perfect act. He seized her right hand in both of his, held it up over her head, and waved it back and forth in a sign of victory. "Socked me with my own club," he exulted, laughing delightedly, boyishly, and came within a tenth of a split red hair. "If it hadn't been so absolutely out of character, you'd have got away with it. What a load of stuff. I was right.